Welcome to DataBytes with Jyoti, unlocking the power of data, one insight at a time. Hello, everyone. I'm Jyoti Pathak, your host. I love data, and as an accomplished data leader, Snowflake data superhero, and a life success and leadership development coach, I get to work with the most amazing data professional across the world. On this fast-moving show, we chat with the smartest data folks across the world, learn from their experiences, pick up key tips, and find out how to solve real problems with data. Let's jump right in. Today, I'm excited and honored to explore the insights of and story of data leader Pooja Kelgaonkar. Let's welcome Pooja to share her impactful journey and wisdom in the data world. Welcome, Pooja.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thanks for having me here. I'm glad to share my journey.
Hey, Pooja, we love to learn a lot about yourself. Why not we just jump in and tell us what's the secret of your success and your background?
Sure. So my career started close to 2 decades now. So I'm still a fresher. I'm a learner and a lifelong learner. So the learning continuously goes on, and I believe on learning and knowledge sharing. So that is one of the reason I'm also Snowflake data superhero. So along with the decades of experience, 2 decades of experience in data domain, I started my career with mainframe COBOL JCL development. So it was a tough time to look at a black and colorful screen, building up those jobs, writing up a long code to work on the magnetic tape files. So it was fun to get started with that. And then later I got to opportunity to work with a telecom customer where I got introduced to Teradata. So Teradata is one of the data platform on where I worked for close to 14 years, and that has been fun, and you can say a first love in data domain. So
Wow.
I learned many things out there. So that's the foundation of my data journey. So understanding data concepts, applying engineering, pipelines, data quality, governance, everything you can see. And then later on, I have seen the shift to big data, worked on various modernization use cases, be it legacy to legacy, legacy to big data, and then to cloud transformations. So from past 5 years, I'm working on to the cloud transformations, the data transformation and modernization journey. And I have primarily worked on Snowflake and Google Cloud Platform.
That's perfect. Hey, you have been there, done that, and enjoying it. Like you have done everything data so far. It's quite an accomplishment. It's quite a journey, and I'm sure you have excelled in each and every piece of it. So Pooja, I am, and the audiences will be interested in learning. Uh, what is, if you would like to share, what's one of your accomplishment, or call it like an interesting data problem that you dealt with, and how did you solve that?
Yeah, that's really interesting question, Jyoti. So as I mentioned, I worked on various modernization use cases. So seeing the transformation from one system to another, be it homogeneous or heterogeneous systems. So I would like to share one of the use case where I was working on migrating a legacy platform to Google Cloud Platform on a BigQuery data warehouse. So while working on that, we were doing it for one of the retail customer, and I was working as an architect and leading the entire effort to migrate. And the effort, trust me, it was more than 6 months to 9 months effort to convert everything and bringing it up and live. So we were right on path. We were doing everything. So the architecture was well designed. Pipelines were right in place. Everything was running fine. The pipelines were tallied. And when we opened it for the UAT to the business users, so when they started running their reports on top of a BigQuery, they observed a specific pattern where they were finding $1 million of a difference in their reports. Okay, and
It's
being
huge.
being a that's a huge amount as well. So they raised a concern and an alarm as well. So it was a checkpoint whether the new system will be adopted or not, whether it satisfies the requirement or not, and that's where um, we have to go back and check what was the reason behind it, because everything was passed, all the engineering pipelines right on there. And then while we were telling it back with the in a source system, we observed that the way it treats aggregates is different than the way BigQuery treats the aggregates. So in the source system, they were treating it as a higher denomination, whereas in BigQuery it goes as per what you define it as a float or big int.
Yeah.
So that was the reason because of which in aggregation it was coming up $1 million difference. So we had to revisit our pipeline, intentionally add those rounding functions to ensure it still matches with the source. And that was a tough decision for business as well as a technical team, because you understand, right? If something was been reported for a long time, be it right or wrong. So because they were using the technology for more than 2 to 3 decades, now they have to go in sync with what they had. So we had to intentionally introduce that feature to match it with their existing system. And
Wow.
you
Wow. That,
won't you
yeah.
imagine?
Yeah. I mean, the
It-
saga of aggregation, right? Or the definition of the types, the
I
data
wouldn't
type.
have imagined this, Jyoti, if someone
Yeah.
would have told me this. This might be a simple rounding will cost you this much.
Yeah, yeah, no, hey, thank you for that. And I'm sure like you must have, I know also it's a pain in that piece when you are in that frame of a project, it's a pain. But then yeah, it's also an interesting learning experience along the way. And
It
somehow,
was a very hard
you
learning.
enjoy the pain.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that, Pooja. Um, Pooja, you
Hmm.
are also a Snowflake data superhero. You have such an amazing career journey, so excelling in the data world. I am interested in learning what's your personal mantra or what's your philosophy that guides you in your professional life?
Okay. So as I mentioned, so first thing I always consider myself as a learner. So learning is not only for a temporary basis, it's a journey, right? So as we grow up in the ladder or even throughout our career, so we keep on learning. And with the given technology era, the concepts remain the same. Okay, so whatever we have learned in a data so far remains the same, it holds true, but the way it is being implemented changes as per choice of your tools, choice of your technologies. And with cloud, everything has been changed, the perception has been changed. And even Snowflake, right, they are changing the way we think from a data implementation perspective. It's no more a tedious task. So I always keep on learning. So I ensure that at least every day I get few minutes time to brush up what I have learned, or at least list down what I want to do for this week. And I generally follow a 80-20 rule. So when I say a 80-20, so that also helps me in work-life balance.
Yeah.
So I prioritize what I want to do. So top two things that helps me to get done for the day. So that might take 8 hours days time. That's fine. But those top two things are important. And after office hours are done, I intentionally, spend time with my daughter so that I have a better work-life balance and I give time to her. And this is that won't give me any guilt as a mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually that's the challenge we have, right? So most of
Yeah.
the people say,
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you running behind? If someone is curious, then these are the
Yeah.
common things, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
face it a lot, right? So
Yeah. As a woman in data, women in IT or in a STEM world, you manage too many different avenues of your life, like as a professional, as a mother, as a spouse, as daughter. There are way too many roles that you play. And thanks for sharing your work-life balance mantra with me, because that was my next question to you, but you already answered, and
okay.
thank you.
Cool.
So Pooja, there are many folks, many newbies call it, or people who are willing to enter data field or data area are watching us. Um, what would you suggest for them to like a tip or some tips, tricks, or to enter the data area, and then how do they grow, and why do you think, I have a two-part question. Why do you think
Sure.
data is one of the best IT field, or call it a field in a STEM, where somebody can easily enter and then do really well?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jyoti. So I will start answer it in reverse way. So uh, I'll prefer talking about data, why data is there, and then talking about what we can do to get into data.
Yeah,
So as you know, right? So you're also a superhero. So data is in the center of the technology now. So initial days I have seen where data was just being maintained as a log or dump yard where everything was getting dumped. But now every single byte being captured earns your value. And with the tools and technologies around, with AI, ML, it's been a need of the hour to maintain the data. So
yeah,
when I say I maintain, not only to get the data, but also ensure it meets the quality standards, governance, protection, everything
yeah,
at the bigger umbrella of data. So it's a very good opportunity for any new person or anyone who is keen on learning, so they can come to the data world. It's very easy to get started. So with products and platforms like Snowflake, uh, anyone can just set up a trial account within a minute or two's time, right? So it has become really easy uh, for from an adoption perspective. So learning has really become easy with just a single click, get your account set up, you're all set, no hardware, software to be maintained, nothing to be installed, nothing
yeah,
to be managed on your own. So you just get an account on the cloud platform and you are all set. And then from a learning perspective, there are various avenues available. So taking an example of Snowflake, so they have a great documentation. There are resources available like quick starts, which helps to do a hands-on, perform various, you implement various use cases rather. And then if each and every cloud provider like Google Cloud, AWS, Azure, they have their native documentation, quick labs available. So I how I prefer is, instead of just learning, which becomes like a pile up thing, and we tend to forget.
yeah,
So instead of doing that, you learn a small piece of it, you do a POC, you do a hands-on, and then wherever you get opportunity to demonstrate it. So even if it's within your organization, or even if it's with your friends, or even if you're doing it on your own, you prefer doing that. So that gives you a confidence that okay, I have built this and I can do it. And that would also help you to learn and remember the things that we have learned theoretically.
yeah. That's
Yes,
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
sure. And I would like to add a couple of more things, Jyoti. So, as we are talking about learning avenues, I also have my Medium blogs through which I share various posts and blogs around data. So, uh, around the data concepts, technologies, Snowflake blogs, GCP blogs. So, they can also come and refer to that. I have
Yeah.
recently published a book on mastering Snowflake platform. So, it is
That's
available.
amazing. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that.
yeah. So it's available on Amazon and
Yeah,
BBB.
and I wait for your Friday's blog, TGIF. I wait for that, and I am one of your fan there, and I read through
Okay.
it. It's an amazing resource, and I can't wait to get my hands on to your book.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
Sure.
sharing. Um, so I have one last question
Sure.
to you, Pooja, is like, uh, you were mentioning that, with with cloud technologies and everything, it's easy to get into the data field, and you can go and just get some free account. You don't have to worry about setting up servers, physical servers, or you don't have to worry about buying a heavy processing laptops and machines. So let's share with the audience, like, why Snowflake here it really stands out, in as one of the leading database, or a data technology that our audiences can hook onto.
Oh, sure. So, as I mentioned, Snowflake trial account can be set in less than a minute's time. So it's very easy. So you just have to go to trialsnowflake.com, and you just have to fill in the form, and that form will allow you to choose the choice of cloud you want. So typically you can do it on AWS, GCP, or Azure. Select your version and it's all set. And trust me, you won't believe, the moment it is done, you will receive an email with activation, and done. You have an URL for your account. You just go there, you have all the required permissions. So even if it's a trial account, you get $400 credit to use those Snowflake features and implement POCs. So someone who is really keen on doing it, maybe you can implement all the different use cases, like building pipelines, data sharing, data cloning, governance, then doing native app integrations, and even some of the Cortex ML functions are also coming in the public preview soon. So they can also go and start experimenting around them.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's very super easy through the UI.
Yeah. And if there is no data, there's no digital. If there's no data, there's no AI. The core base of anything AI is the data. And you would imagine Snowflake here is really making it easier for data professionals to get their hands on, learn it, and then Snowflake is making it's like magic. The magic of data happens, and then you get to use it in many, many use cases. So
Yes,
thank you for sharing that insight, Pooja. It was
sure.
wonderful talking to you, and thanks for giving me your time. I know you are super busy, but thank you so much for your time in here. Your
Thank you so much.
journey in data has truly inspired many in the data world. We have delved into your impressive career. We discussed real-world applications of data, and we absorbed your priceless guidance for the future data experts. Thank you again for opening up to us with your wisdom today. And to our audiences, a big thank you for tuning into this episode of DataBytes with Jyoti. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and share our content. Your engagement is what drives our pursuit of knowledge. Until we meet again, continue to explore, continue to ask questions, and keep your passion for data wisdom alive. Bye for now, and thank you, Pooja, again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.